Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bowling University studio here in the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm Bart Berger, and I'll be your host for this edition of the Bowling University Profit Break. Thank you for joining us. Our mission here at the university is to enrich people's lives personally and professionally. And the Profit Break is an opportunity for sharing insights on how to grow revenue, reduce costs, enrich yourself, your team, and your business. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes, and you're going to be well on your way to improving your profitability. Now, always love when we're fortunate enough to have in-studio guests, and today we are joined by Miss Tonya Telesco. Tonya is a speaker, author, and human behavior expert dedicated in helping people awaken their extraordinary value and potential, and boy, can we use that now. She's a member of the teaching faculty for the John Maxwell team and is a DISC certified trainer with Personality Insights Institute. That's a mouthful. Her and her husband, Tom, are co-founders of the Telesco Leadership based here in Keller, Texas. Miss Tonya, welcome. So glad to see you. Thank you for stopping by the studio.
It is a pleasure, Bart. Glad to be here.
Good. Well, let's dive right in. Now, we know that communications or relationships are important. I think that's kind of a given. But why does it matter in the workplace?
Absolutely. You know, I think, Bart, now more than ever, people are experiencing high levels of just stress and pressure because of all the unknown factors that are going on in the world today. And it is having a tremendous impact on our relationships, and that's at work and at home. And if there was ever a time that we needed to learn to communicate better, I think it's now, to really learn how to lock arms. Also, it was the Carnegie Institute years ago did an interesting study about the factors that contribute to a person's success. And what they've concluded is that 15% of success is due to technical skills. So that's like your training, your education and background, things like that. However, a whopping 85% of success is due to people skills. And I know that sounds like a really big number, and not trying to diminish that 15%, but the quality of your life is going to be determined by the quality of your communication. First with yourself, and then with others. And, you know, next to my faith, I have to say that this resource and this understanding has probably impacted my life more than anything else. So just excited about helping people not only better understand themselves, but really how to build those stronger teams so that they can be more effective.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And I love the fact that you can, you know, the data allows us to quantify that, right?
Yes,
I mean, we've often said that it's more important that you be able to have those people skills and communication skills, but for the data to show and quantify that, that's big. Now, I want to read a quote here, and I want to make sure I get this right, because this is powerful. And I read where you said this: though everyone is communicating, few people are connecting. And if you're not connecting, you're not influencing. I'm going to read that again for our audience today, because this is powerful. Though everyone is communicating, few people are connecting. And if you're not connecting, you're not influencing. There's a lot there to unpack. Can you share with us a little bit today about what do you mean by that?
Yes, that is a lot to unpack. You know, whether it is in a business, it could be Bart, it could be a school, a church. Every organization has the same number one problem. And that is people are not getting along with each other because there are unmet expectations and perceptions are different. And so if I really want to communicate and connect with you, I can't always communicate in a way that feels good or right to me. I've got to communicate in such a way that, that you're going to be able to receive it. You know, one of the most powerful statements that someone said to me one time was, Tonya, you are going to have to learn to say the same thing in a different way. You know, for example, if I speak English and you only speak Spanish, we're not gonna communicate. But if I understand that you speak Spanish and I speak English, I can either get an interpreter or I can learn your language. Now, it's not that difficult, but what I help people do, Bart, is to understand the 4 different personality styles, how they communicate, so that we can truly connect with people who aren't like us. And you know, so many times other people might feel judged or like we're trying to fix them or avoid them. But if we understand them, then we can make them feel valued. And you know, that's the goal. The goal here is to make people feel valued. Because when they feel valued, it's then that we're going to be able to have entrance into their lives. So.
Yeah, and another reminder that those things are important in our personal relationships, but you remind us they actually do carry over into your business relationships as well. It's just equally as important. Now, I've heard you talk about toleration and celebration.
Yes.
Can we really take somebody, can we really go from toleration to celebration with any relationship? I mean, is that really possible?
It is really possible, and it's huge, and I speak out of years of experience, but you know, whether you're a CEO or you're a manager, a parent, a student, an entrepreneur, this insight can really change the way you do life and business. You know, an example I could share, trying to think of one. It was before the pandemic, and I had held, it was a workshop at a huge medical convention in Fort Worth. And afterwards, this lady came up to me, and she was a nurse, and she just had tears in her eyes. And she said, "Tonya, I cannot thank you enough for today." She said, "For the first time in my life, I understand why there's been such a strain between me and my father ever since I was a little girl." She said, "You know, he's very private, meticulous, he's an engineer." And she said, "All these years, I've been trying to get love and acceptance from him in ways that he just didn't have to offer." She said, "My brother and I nicknamed Dad Mr. Spock from Star Trek because he was always so serious and not much fun." And she said, "But tell you what," she said, "you know, he only lives like 30 minutes from here. And as soon as these sessions are over, I am headed straight to his house. I'm going to tell him how much I appreciate all his hard work for setting boundaries for me and just modeling excellence for our family." She said, "Because Tonya, I put him through grief, and I just got to ask for forgiveness." And you know, she's emotional and tearing up, and I'm tearing up, Bart, and that is because her perspective of her father completely shifted in less than 2 hours. It is just that powerful. And this is also in the workplace. And you know, when you understand someone's traits, and when you understand that people do things for their reasons and not yours, I tell you what, it just frees you up. And it brings you a personal freedom because you can embrace people and you can take hold of somebody else who has a different flavor of greatness.
Yeah, no, it's a great story to share. So you're going to be with us in Las Vegas. We're excited about having you. It's going to be a lot that you're going to be going through there in the deep dive there. But is there a communication tip that you can share with us today for those that are joining us that maybe, well, for everyone, but maybe for those that aren't going to be able to be with us?
Absolutely. I've got several. I think one of my favorite communication tips that I like to share is the importance of understanding somebody else's focus. And so, Bart, everyone in this room, everyone within the sound of my voice, you have a primary focus of either task or relationship. Now, we have both of them, but we're still all going to lean a little bit more one way than we are the other. And so, task-focused people, they just enjoy more making a list, checking it off, getting things done, making some things happen and getting results. Relationship-focused people enjoy socializing, hanging out, being warm, kind, and friendly, just a little bit more consumed with people. One is not better than the other. They just see and do life a little bit differently. But here's the interesting part, Bart, is that up to 90% of the conflict that we have in relationships on a daily basis is due to not understanding if someone is task or relationship focused. It's that big. And so, you know, what I like to say is, you know, task-focused people move mountains in this world through getting things done and through accomplishments and results. People-oriented or relationship-focused people move mountains in this world through people, connections, and relationships. And oftentimes, task-focused people think that relationship-focused people are lazy, and relationship-focused people think that task-focused people are mean. It's just this misunderstanding where they hit a wall every single day. So the tip I like to share, that's a little backdrop, that I like to share with you is what I call the golden question. And ask yourself, when you're with someone, just say to yourself, you know what? Is this person, what we're talking about, is this a task that they're wanting to accomplish? Or is this a relationship that they're trying to build? And that right there is huge. And I'll say that again. that person in front of me, is this a task that they're trying to accomplish or a relationship that they're trying to build? And I tell you what, if you can get on that same page in that moment, it's just amazing how much it can change that connection with whoever you're with.
Yeah, and it goes to your story you shared about the nurse and her father and understanding. Where, it reminds me of the saying, you seek first to understand and then be understood.
Yes.
In doing that. But that's a great example and great powerful stuff. So for those that are going to be with us in Las Vegas, and you all should be with Tonya in Las Vegas, so what are some of the takeaways and what can they expect during your session? Let's give them a little preview here.
Yes, absolutely. So those of you who are with us, first, you're going to learn about you. You're going to learn more about your fears, your motivations, why you think and feel and act the way that you do. You're also going to learn more about the other 3 personality styles. They're amazing traits and just some specific strategies that you can use every day so that you can connect more effectively with people who aren't like you. We're also going to be talking about some distinct ways that each personality is motivated and how they're stressed out, because that's so important at work and at home, is understanding that. So we're going to unveil and unpack a whole lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Good. I'm going to reserve my seat. So we have time for one last question here, just kind of to bring this all together. For all of us that are going to be with you, is there anything that you would suggest that we can kind of prepare ourselves to get ready for our time together?
Absolutely. I think, especially going into something like this, it's just to really come with an open heart and an open mind. This session is not about labeling. It's not about, pigeonholing or putting anybody in a box. It's about understanding and embracing people who are different than us so that we can impact the leaders and the world and the people that we're called, to serve. So I know people will say, oh my goodness, I've taken a personality style or this or that, or they maybe have some misconceptions. And because many times it may be the way that it was presented, Bart. It's not about what you're missing. This is not about, traits that you don't have. This is about really learning about you also so that you can reach your potential and be the person that you were created to be.
No, that's good. So it doesn't sound like you're not trying to fix us. You're trying to help us understand us so we can better ourselves. So good. Well, Tonya, I can't thank you enough for stopping by to be with us today. I'm so looking forward to having you with us in Las Vegas. Just be right around the corner.
Yes, looking forward to it. Thank you, Bart.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. So folks, remember, if you'd like to learn even more about understanding and connecting to the 4 personality types, Tonya will be one of our featured speakers at Bowl Expo in Las Vegas this June. Tonya's 90-minute learning lab, Why Can't You Be Normal Like Me, will be taking place on Tuesday, June 28th at 2:30, and you are not going to want to miss it. So as we wrap up another edition of the Bowl University Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next time for another great episode. If you have any questions about today's show or would like additional information, you can reach us anytime at education@bpaa.com. Also, you and your team can watch any of our previous episodes 24/7 by visiting bowlinuniversity.net. The Profit Break is now available when you want it, and we have new episodes premiering every month. Until then, I'm Bart Berger, and remember, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.